Finally, the assassin reaches up to make the kill, injecting its toxic cocktail.
Life sucks sometimes, man, but it could have been way, way worse. You could have been born an ant. Imagine it's the first day at your new job and you're excited to make some professional friends. Yay, only to find that the people sharing your cubicle walls are more concerned with causing chaos than creating peace and harmony. This is the daily hustle for an ant. Unfortunately for them, being a team player in the insect world comes with some crazy challenges. Think you've got bad neighbors? Ants have to deal with one called the friggin' antlion. Actually, he's more like a sadistic landlord than a tenant, setting sneaky sand traps and collecting rent in the form of innocent ant lives. That's not even the worst of it. There's literally an insect called assassin bug, who takes pleasure in abducting and tearing ants limb from limb, then wearing their bodies as a sinister disguise. I mean, just look at that thing. It looks like something straight out of Dante's Ninth Circle of Hell. It's nightmarish. It's stacked its prey on its back. Those poor ants. Poor ants. And imagine seeing that thing coming for you. Look at it. Zoom in on its face. It looks just like a demon. And these are just the ground level threats. The real trouble comes from the sky. Some flies force ants to regurgitate their food for their own reheat meal indulgence, and others, like the forward fly, lays eggs inside an ant's head, using their slowly decaying bodies to nourish its own offspring. Yum. Another not so sinister, but still a hustler, is the snail. By secreting a delicious slime, the snail attracts ants who carry it back to their nest. No questions asked. Once inside, the snail pumps the secretion brakes and makes itself at home, getting free food and free shelter while the ants work themselves to death, servicing its every need.
It's like some kind of ancient emperor callously and carelessly watching his slaves work themselves to death. Man, this thing, it might not be so horrific as like the assassin bug or the antlion. It's not like that sand monster from freaking Star Wars, but still, that's horrible, man. In some kind of way, it's more horrible.
Next on the list of predators and problem makers, parasites. The flatworm, for example, wriggles its way into an ant's body and takes over its entire system, causing it to climb a blade of grass, clamp down with its mandibles, and stick in position. Why? To increase its chances of being eaten by grazing animals, of course. A juicier host body for the parasite to occupy. Would you want an ant as your host body if you were a parasite controlling an animal? Probably not. You'd want something larger like a gazelle or a zebra. Flipping the script from science fiction to widespread ant warfare, strangely the biggest threat to ant lives is none other than, other ants. Under the guise of night, fire ants infiltrate enemy lines and kidnap baby ants. They then raise these infants as soldiers of their own, who fight as their first line of defense. For all you chess lovers out there, this next one is in your wheelhouse. The Solenopsis queen, a master tactician, sneakily infiltrates an opposing colony's nest, slowly and discreetly checkmates the queen, and uses her newly conquered workers to raise her own bloodthirsty brood. But perhaps the most bizarre way ants meet their end is the army ant death spiral. Other than being a kick-ass name for a band, this phenomenon highlights a flaw in ant design. You see, these nomadic army ants rely on scent trails to navigate through the wilderness. If a small group gets lost, they can end up joining another group's trail, who then start to follow the recently joined ant's trail. 1 + 1 = 2, and they become trapped in an endless loop, marching until they just drop dead from exhaustion. It's like the blind leading the blind in some kind of weird whirlwind of blind people following blind people. I don't know where I was going with that analogy, but yeah, basically, long story short, being an ant sucks. There you go. Have a nice day.